During the early 1700s, new settlers came to Hawaii. They did not seem to understand the limits of this ecosystem. They introduced dozens of plants and animals that were considered as invasive species because they took land away from the already native species. Agriculture is one of the most important inventions in human history, a dependable supply of food that can be stored for later. Modern agricultural processes have enabled farmers to double world food production over the last 50 years. Monoculture, for example, is the practice of clearing large areas to plant a single highly productive crop. There are three main things that affect the environment. These are agriculture, development, and industrial growth. Ecosystem goods are classified into two sections. These are renewable resources like solar energy and water, and non-renewable resources like fossil fuels. Ecological science can teach us how to use natural resources to meet our needs without causing long-term environmental harm. Using resources in such an environmentally conscious way is called sustainable development. Sustainable development provides for human needs while preserving the ecosystem that produces natural resources. Our economy is built on the use of natural resources, so leaving those resources untouched is not an option. But the goods and services provided by healthy ecosystems are essential to life. So, if we don't properly manage agriculture, then we may one day lose the natural resources on which we depend. Healthy soil supports both agriculture and forestry, and the mineral and nutrient-rich portion of soil is called topsoil. Good topsoil absorbs and retains moisture and allows water to drain. Soil erosion is the removal of soil by water or wind. When no roots are left to hold soil in place, it's easily washed away, and when this happens, soil is badly eroded. Organic matter and minerals are carried away. In parts of the world with dry climates, combination of farming, overgrazing, seasonal droughts, and climate change can turn farmland into deserts. This is called desertification. Deforestation, or loss of forests, can also have a negative effect on soil quality. They not only provide wood, but keep soil in place, protects the quality of fresh water supplies, absorbs CO2, between others. Deforestation can lead to severe erosion. It is possible to minimize soil erosion through careful management of both agriculture and forestry. Freshwater ecosystems can be affected by different kinds of pollution. A pollutant is a harmful material that can enter the biosphere. The primary sources of water pollution are industrial and agricultural chemicals, residential sewage, and non-point sources. Biological magnification occurs if a pollutant is eaten by an organism because it is not broken down, and then higher organisms eat those organisms. So as the food chain moves up, the pollutant increases in concentration. The common types of air pollution includes smog, acid rain, the greenhouse gases, and last but not least important, particulates. Biological diversity is all the genetically based variation of all organisms on Earth. Biodiversity exists on three levels, including ecosystem diversity, which refers to the variety of habitats, communities, and ecological processes in the biosphere. Species diversity, which is the number of different species in the biosphere. And genetic diversity, which refers to the sum of different forms of genetic information carried by a particular species or by all organisms on Earth. Human activity today is causing the greatest wave of extinction. An example of this is habitat fragmentation, which is the splitting of ecosystems into pieces for causes like development. To make sure that conservation efforts are concentrated in the most important places, biologists have identified ecological hotspots. An ecological hotspot is a place where a significant number of species and habitats are in immediate danger of extinction. What is our impact on the biosphere today? To answer that question, ecologists have developed something called the ecological footprint. The ecological footprint describes the total area of functioning land and water ecosystems needed both to provide the resources an individual or population uses and to absorb and make harmless the wastes that individual or population generates. In 1996, the Sustainable Fisheries Act closed certain areas to fishing until stocks recover. These regulations are helping some fish populations recover. Aquaculture, the farming of aquatic animals, offer a good alternative to commercial fishing with limited environmental damage if properly managed. Global warming is the increase on Earth's average temperature. Some experiments have shown changes in patterns of temperature, rainfall, and other physical environmental factors that can result from global warming. Another experiment shows that Earth's temperature are getting warmer. Its sea ice is melting and its sea levels are rising. In conclusion, I think that we really need to see what's going on in this world, that we need to learn from our mistakes, that way we don't repeat them. We have to find some alternate ways so that we don't harm other species and also we don't make our climate change worse. This can be reached if every government takes act and agrees to help the environment through sustainable development and investing on science to find alternate ways. Thank you very much.